Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rebel Creatives podcast. I'm your host Delano and I help creative entrepreneurs increase their revenue using the Rebel Growth System. All right. So in this episode, I want to talk about how you can overcome perfectionism and get stuff done. All right. And my question is, have you ever have a plan, but end up dragging your feet to get it out there, right? You're waiting for it to be perfect before you start implementing it, sharing it with others, and put it in front of those you want to see it, right? Now, you need to learn how to not let perfectionism hold you back and instead do what you can to make your idea or plan become perfect over time, right? Because that's the real way that perfection really happens, right? We rarely ever get anything perfect on the first go, all right? And I will share how I personally get over this, right? And get rid of second guessing myself and holding myself back from taking action and putting things out there for people, right? And unfortunately, most people suffer from the cons of perfectionism because they put up a mental block based on what they perceive perfection to be. All right. So hopefully, I will be able to address that in this episode, in this um, podcast episode, so that you can overcome that if this is something that you're going through. All right. So before I even get in, I want to say what is perfect for you is rarely best for those you serve. All right. And here are some other reasons that could be holding you back, right? Basing your decisions on your opinion rather than facts, right? And knowing that that's what you're doing could be holding you back from moving forward, right? Because you're saying, this is just what I feel. Next is not actually testing your ideas or plans, and especially for those they are intended for, right? So if it's for you, no problem. But like when you're doing it for others, so for example, if it's a restaurant and you want to test a recipe, you are not doing it for you. It's what your customers will like, right? Or if you are a med spa owner and you're testing out a new treatment menu, as it were, right? It's not for you. What you might think would be best is not what your people will love. Although in some instances you have to put your expert um, training into consideration, but how you present it and what it entails can be tweaked a little bit to facilitate the people that you serve. All right. And not collecting data or feedback from your peers of implementation. All right. Now, you can overcome this by taking action, collecting data, and reiterating and improving based on that data over time. And that's what I'm going to dive into right now and let you see what I do to make sure that I don't get held back by perfectionism, right? So the first step is to make a sound plan of action based on your expertise and knowledge. All right. And this is the start of anything. And we all have to start from somewhere. Whenever you are making a plan, you want to start with what you know to be true. All right. When making a product or service, you want to make it based on the type of person you want to serve and the problem they have. All right. And this is just the beginning. So it is all about making a good starting plan of action that will solve an obvious and pressing issue. To bolster your knowledge, this is where you can do market research to see what is trending and what is needed. So your initial decisions can be well informed. All right. When you do this step right, you will have the confidence you need to move forward and not be stuck by perfectionism, right? But this is just the start, right? Because you create the plan, you do it in a way where you're confident, right? That's the most important part. You don't want to just hurry come up with something, just blindly following what others are doing or anything. You want to make sure that when you create a plan, you are confident in yourself that you did put your best foot forward in making this plan. And that is what will really push you over the edge to really get things done. All right. Now, the next step is to actually implement your plan and start collecting feedback. All right. And this is where most people fall short, right? They will take action at some point, but they don't take or collect any feedback. Journaling and collecting and storing data is to be reviewed is something most people do not know how to do effectively, right? And when you launch a product idea or a new plan, it is vital that you collect data, analyze them, so you are operating from a place of fact rather than general opinion. All right. And I like to call this collecting your zero party data. All right. And due to being used to relying on sources like Google for data, we start to just rely on sources like them to do the heavy lifting for us. Right. But with the changes happening with the privacy laws and how people are, using data, it's vital for us as entrepreneurs to be self reliant on the data we do need to better serve, right? So, in this step, be sure to always ask for feedback from your necessary parties when you put your plan out there, all right? It's very important for you to know because at the end of the day, the more you know, the better you can serve. All right. And in this case, serving better is improving and getting your product, your service, your system towards perfection. All right. Now, the next step is to make sure, next and final step is to make sure that you use the data you collect and optimize your product, your plan, your system, right? Hence, you move towards perfection. And this is where the magic starts to happen and perfection develops, right? By doing all the steps mentioned before, you are now positioned to make the necessary reiterations to improve the experience, outcome, and goals of your plan, right? And that is how you reach perfection with your product, your service, or your systems, all right? And it is my hope that with this, you will see how you can reach perfection by, as I like to say, failing forward. All right. And there's always room for growth. But with the right information and the act of constantly improving, we can improve our offerings and better serve our customers and clients. Right. And most importantly, you will no longer procrastinate in launching your ideas and be consistent in keeping them around and improving them. Instead, you will put it out in the world with confidence, knowing that you will be able to collect the necessary data so you can improve it to perfection. All right. So I hope this episode was enlightening. I know this was inspired due to me going through this and seeing other entrepreneurs in my circle, suffering from perfectionism, and even a few of my clients, going through a phase of, holding back instead of, going forward. And I'm putting this out there to, give value and help anyone that's suffering from perfectionism, and just to know that, listen, it's all about taking action. At the end of the day, you want to start strong, but you want to know that your first action, your first way of doing things won't be the one thing that you will be doing for the duration of your business or life, right? It's just the start, and it will grow as you grow as a person and as your business grow in in different heights and different levels, right? So you want to just make sure that you're starting with confidence, right? You're starting with a strong set of information, and you can always fix that with market research. All right, do your research and learn and know what it is that is required. Start from there and implement. Don't wait, just implement. And when you do, collect data, right? Get feedback. And then you are going to use that feedback, right? You're not going to just let it sit down. You're going to take it, and you're going to use it to improve and optimize that plan that you've made. All right. So, again, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope this is valuable. And please do share it with any other entrepreneur that you know that might find value from this episode. All right. Thank you so much for making it. And Delano signing out. See you in the next one.